Okay, good morning. So I've decided to do like a mini series, I guess that's what you would call it, on how I became homeless and my journey through that and how I conquered my depression. And it was a lot. So this is part one. Each part will be about 10 to 15 minutes long. I don't want to make each story long, then it gets boring. So I guess I'm going to start. Okay. So this story starts back pre-pandemic. Now, what I've noticed in my journey is that everything happens. Nothing just happened just all of a sudden. So, okay, pre-pandemic. I was pregnant with Blake. I had a really good job. I was working. I had 401k. I had FMLA. I was in and out of the hospital with Blake. My bills were paid. Everything was fine. I had money saved. Short-term disability when I went on maternity leave. Blake was born early. She was a preemie, unfortunately. But, I mean, she was a big preemie, though. She was 6 pounds even. So we didn't have any worries, actually. Long story short, I was financially irresponsible and trying to keep up with the Joneses, the Blacks, the Johnsons, the Jacksons. I was trying to keep up with the Kardashians and very financially irresponsible. So I ended up losing my apartment, which was a very nice apartment. I had stayed there for 3 years, and we ended up moving to a more rundown apartment. Rent was cheaper. I was able to afford rent, and it was around the corner from my job. So within a month, I would even say within 2 weeks, I got laid off from work. And I was so upset because I was just getting my life back together within that 2 weeks. Like, I put Blake in daycare, said it was in school, we just moved. Sorry, you guys, I am driving to work. But, yeah, so I got laid off. And in the state of Texas, you can get fired, laid off, or whatever for no reason at all. So it was crazy. So it was my first month at this apartment, and I could not afford my rent. I don't know. I think my car making a noise. Sorry. Anyway, long story short, I'm a person that I was a person that had pride issues. I have extremely worked on it a lot, thanks to therapy. But anyway, so I finally reached out and was like, I need help. And blessings came with my kid's dad's sister. She said we can move with her because she didn't want us homeless at that time. Okay, cool. So we ended up moving with her. She had this really nice house that she just moved into. It was really big. We moved in with her. At that time, I was still looking for a job. I finally found a job, paid really well. I started saving my money up. I still was financially irresponsible, not gonna lie. But I was trying to keep up with the Jacksons, the Joneses, the Johnsons, the Blacks, everybody, you know. And I didn't save as much money as I needed to save. I was like, oh, I got money saved. But it wasn't what I needed to save. So it was time to move. No, you know what? I'm going to go back before it was time to move. So the pandemic hit. And Blake was really sick. She ended up with, before they knew it was COVID, she ended up with COVID. She also had double pneumonia in her lungs. She had fluid in her lungs. And she was in and out of the hospital for weeks. I don't know if that's my car or somebody else's car, but it's loud. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Oh, it's not my car. It's the car in front of me. Yeah, okay, sorry. So, pandemic hit, wasn't working for about 2 weeks, didn't get paid, blah, 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 blah. And then we were all moving. So, my kid's aunt, who I call my sister now, by the way, she was moving. She was downsizing because she was buying a house. So she was downsizing, and then her best friend and her best friend's wife was going to move into the house that we were in, and because they were upgrading, because they were getting married and they have a family. So her best friend's wife was getting rid of her apartment. And at that time, I was rushing to get in a place, but it was hard for me to find a place because, remember, I had lost those 2 apartments within like a month. And, you know, in Houston, it's really hard to get an apartment. So, I mean, I got approved for an apartment, but my sister, her best friend's wife was like, well, you could just take my apartment, and that way I won't have to break my lease. Oh, okay, cool. At the time, I was still employed, and rent was doable. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that because I was making good money at this job. So we moved and everything. Right after I moved, I never told anyone. I got fired because I wasn't at work all the time because, remember, Blake was sick. So they told me they needed somebody there all the time. And I was like, well, my daughter is sick. Like, I can't control that. And they was like, well, we're sorry to hear that. Maybe you should take some time to take care of your daughter. Okay. So I was like, freak. Like, what do I do? But then a blessing came because Trump started passing out money. Like, yeah. So I was still able to pay my rent because I was getting unemployment. I was also, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get over. Got scared. Okay, I got scared for no reason. So I'm still able to pay my bills, pay my rent because I was getting the unemployment. Then the stimulus checks was coming in, the food stamps was coming in, blah blah blah. So I was doing good. Now what I didn't know was that I was still being financially irresponsible. And I thought like, oh, if I pay my rent, I was not saving any money. I wasn't doing, I was really doing what everybody else was doing during this time, was just blowing my money. Like, it was a lot of money and I didn't know any better. Like, I wasn't taught how to be financially responsible, honestly, like at all. So we're in this apartment and we are doing good. Like I said, my bills were getting paid and everything. Then something happened. But that's for part 2, because this one is 10 minutes. The next one tomorrow, I will tell you guys part 2. Yeah. So remember though, at this time I'm still unemployed and I'm just living off of unemployment and stimulus checks and food stamps. But I'm living life, y'all. I'm living life. Irresponsibly with 2 children. Yes. So, yeah.